In our last episode, we had just picked up all of our Victron gear from our friend Ryan, who heads up to Coda Lithium Batteries, and is supplying us with our lithium batteries and most of our electronics. After converting our hanging locker into one of our electronic cabinets, Matt mounted our MultiPlus II inverter chargers, as well as the enclosure for the AC breakers and the Victron distributors. With wiring not in hand just yet to move on there, he's now turned his attention to setting up our navigation station/media center with all the breakers we'll need to run the electronics on our brand new Catamaran.
These are DIN rail Eaton breakers. We've decided to go with this route for both the AC side of it and DC side, both 12 and 48 volt for our system. This is what all the cool kids are doing now on their boats.
And what Matt means by that is that this isn't exactly a brand new idea we've come up with ourselves. We've seen versions of it at boat shows and on other catamarans like Vision and Balance. We're not reinventing the wheel here, just modifying the concept to best suit our own needs.
So today I'm going to go over and start the installation of the 12 volt side of it, and then start actually figuring out the 48 volt in place. Paint is still soft, so I don't want to screw it up. Inside of electrical cabinet, so it really doesn't matter, but come on. There's still some tape here. Find that position. First set of breakers is at 6 inches down. There's a 10-inch space in between rows. So 16. And then the row 26. You can see I had some old screw holes in here. Originally was planning on doing 2 rows. But it just gets confusing when you have that many breakers in a row of trying to find the one that you want if you're using them as switches. So switching on and off power more rapidly or more often. So now I've switched it to, there'll be 30 breakers, 3 rows of 10. Which is a lot of breakers, but it does give me some auxiliary, some extra breakers in there. And it separates everything. This particular thing, this is the AC side where you can see it's mounted in this enclosure here. DC side, which is what we're working on right now, that goes on rails. There's going to be a cabinet door that goes over the top of that, so you don't just sit there and stare at it all the time. Our DC system, that is going to be put in its own cabinet, have a solid cabinet door in front of it. And part of the reason for that is the fact that people can't accidentally turn them on and off. Jessica. She was notorious on her last boat. She'd be sitting in the nav desk and swivel back and forth and hit into our autopilot switch and flip that on and off. I had to actually put guards over the top of those things to prevent that from happening. So we're doing what we can to reduce that chance on this boat, and we're putting them actually in their own cabinet with a door that covers it. On the top, we're going to have the nav lights over on this side, and then all the electronics. So things like the autopilot, chart plotter, all those sort of things will be over on this side. This whole row will have its own separate DC to DC converter and its own separate battery pack. What it does is it just adds some redundancy there in case something were to happen to my 12 volt system. I can still run those things, which to me, those are mission crucial type of things. I've got to have those work. And it also isolates them from the rest of the loads. So in case I get a voltage spike that comes running through because of something like the toilet flushes, whatever it is, this is completely isolated, running through that DC to DC, so I don't have to worry about those circuits basically at all. The rest of these things are just hotel loads. So things like the lights inside, auxiliary, for accessories, things like our fans and USB converters, those types of things. And then down here will be the items, the toilet, the shower sump, water pump, fridge, all of those will be on this side. So things that are pretty much always in the on position because we're using separate switches for those. I don't have to reach down and touch these at all, but if they break or pop, then I can go through and address it there. Reason why we did this instead of a typical marine panel. On the last boat, I really wanted to do this, but it came with a really nice Blue Seas panel, and there was no point in throwing that out and replacing it with this. It makes it just really easy to install. They just clip into place. But the big thing is it allows you to wire from the front. So when you're actually wiring this setup, real simple to run them in there. You can pop things in and out, change things easier. This particular breaker, these are all UL 489 rated, so they're considerably better than what the rating is for the typical Blue Seas. Blue Sea does offer UL 489, which are the Coast Guard approved breakers, but most people don't have that in their boats. This just comes standard as that. So it was just the way that we wanted to go with this on this particular boat. I could pick and choose, and it allows me, once we're outside of the US, to be able to get breakers easier than we can anywhere else, because this is used basically worldwide. In the US, is used for automation systems, so you use them in a lot of factories, that kind of stuff. Not necessarily what you'd see in a house. Over in Europe and everywhere else, basically, they use these almost exclusively within house wiring. It's something that you can just go and pick up wherever we are if we need to replace anything. To me, it just makes a lot of sense to go this route, because no longer are the panels being used as switchgear. We're not having them out open. We're flipping them on and off to fill on and off the lights. Our lights are all controlled with separate modules, really mature lights, versus this setup where it'll be mostly just recon positioned 99% of the time. So what that means is it can go actually in the cabinetry. So instead of having to be flush mounted, we're able to get to it, or you're able to see it all the time, because again, you're even using switches, turn things on and off. This goes behind in a cabinet,
which again will keep me from bumping into them, although I shouldn't be as close to these as I was on our last boat. And no curious minds will randomly start flipping them on and off as they tour our boat. And now that we've reached this stage, it feels incredible to finally see real progress as the electrical system begins to come to life. Matt has been planning this setup for years, thinking through as many of our future needs as possible, and it's so satisfying to watch those plans finally turn into the real installation.
This is in place, it's looking good. I'm hesitant to even add the wires because then it just makes it look like a mess, but it needs to be done, so that we'll start running those hopefully in the next couple of days, the wiring for this. On this side, we talked about this is going to be a 48 volt, this is 12 volt. The breakers here are rated up to 48 volts, but you can't go any higher than that. So that's the maximum that can work on this side. For this area, which is going to be the MPPT, the solar controllers, that is going to be significantly higher voltage. And then down here is 48. Well, a 48 volt bank natively will go up to a higher area of voltage. So it can go 56, 58 volts. So these no longer work for this section. Eaton breakers, same exact breaker, but they design it for DC, will go up to 125 volts. So I do need to order those for this area. I'm holding off on the ones that are going to be for the solar controllers because solar efficiency is increasing pretty rapidly. What I have in mind right now for our solar panels, by the time we actually install it, will be hopefully a little bit better. So a denser panel, which means that we can get hopefully more wattage out of the same area that we have, because of course we're limited to how many panels we can actually put in here. So I'm holding off on those until I know for sure once those get installed. It's the same thing with ordering the MPPT controllers. I've got a few of them on hand that I know will work, but anything else beyond that I'm holding off at this point. So that's going to stay blank for a while until we get that figured out. Here is going to be the DC to DC converters. So as you remember, the bank, the Dakota Lithium bank, is 48 volts. So to run all of our 12 volt components, we need to be able to convert that 48 volts down to 12 volts. The DC to DC converters will be here. Those again are going to be potentially higher voltage, the input. So we'll do those DC breakers, the higher voltage breakers along this area. Those will be 10 amps. We'll feed into each one of those, but we'll be able to turn them on and off right here. And then we will also have the controllers for the air conditioners to turn those on and off. And potentially not in this breaker setup, but we'll have a separate breaker for the windlass to be able to turn that on and off, because that will be 48 volts as well.
At the beginning of the episode, I had mentioned that we couldn't move further with a lot of our electronic installation because we didn't have the wire yet. But that has since changed because thanks to some of our wonderful followers, we now have a big box full of wire. We've gotten all of these things in the past couple days. I mean, that is going to get us so far. I can't even imagine what we'll be able to do with all of this. All of this was purchased off of our Amazon wish list, which we do have a link to in our video description. And for some reason, Amazon was not letting us send a thank you, because normally you get a little QR code that tells you what the item is if you need to return it for any reason. And usually it has, if it's a gift, a thank you. It did not have at this time. So we want to say a big thank you to Brian and Joe, who supplied us with all of this wire. It is going to get us so far in the build. We're going to be able to start doing real things, and it means a lot to us. I want to say thank you so much for that. And another thing I want to mention before closing this episode is that this episode is a little bit shorter than we wanted it to be, but we're in the middle of like 6 different projects right now. So instead of just doing a minute or 2 of each of them, I thought it would be best to wait and get them in future episodes. One thing that we didn't cover was that we just painted this section, our entertainment. The wall back here again is going to get one of those tans or browns on it once we decide. So that has taken up some of our time, but it's so cool to see a nice white shiny surface on all these areas that were dull before. So that ate into some of our time. And on the back side of this, where Matt had just installed the breakers, he's installing more of our Victron things, so that will be in the next episode. And in regards to the overhead, which I really wanted to get into more, weather has kind of dictated that I can or can't do it. Back here in the aft guest berth, I was hoping to get all of these attached this next episode. I did get a few things done. Once again, not enough to really put it as a segment in here, but because of the rises and the falls of where the deck comes together to the cockpit and different things like that, we're going to have to shave down some of the blocks. So I've held off on that, but I did get it in a few other areas. If we walk forward through the guest head and now into the steps that lead down from the forward area of the galley, I have gotten small areas bonded on so you can see where I've sanded off the paint. This is in here with a 2-part methacrylate. And once we get our plywood in, which is still on back order, hopefully we can start moving forward on a couple of those areas. But I needed the ambient temperature in here to be quite warm for the methacrylate to bond, which should hopefully be next week. So the next episode is going to have a lot of things to cover. We're going to be going over more of the electronics. We're going to be going over the overhead, a little bit of what's happening with our air conditioning system. So again, sorry this one was a bit short, but the next one should be pretty stuffed with information and projects.
Give me your freedom. Life is so easy. Whoa. such a pandemonium.